Hey guys, Cece Trewick here today to talk to you about something I love to talk about because I feel like it's been a big part of my life, a big part that I haven't always loved, a big part that I feel like I fought, but I have learned to be content with, and I'm calling it learning to live with awkward. Next to you, to the side of you, in front of you. And what I mean by that is when you or I step into our passions or our dreams, or even move towards somebody to love them, to care for them, there's always an element of awkward. And I want you to think about that as I'm talking. I want you to think about times that you've stepped onto a new setting, a new job, even a new home. You switched states. You said yes to a ministry that you have no idea how it's going to go. And there's always awkward. And there's always moments of awkward where people literally will look at you with that awkward look like, I don't know you. I don't know if I like you. And I am somebody that gravitates to awkward. I feel like I bring awkward wherever I go because I'm that personality that jumps in and has ideas and loves to gather people. And sometimes folks are like, that's a little much. And maybe you're an introvert. Maybe you're an extrovert. But I know that you know what I mean about awkward. Like, for instance, situational awkward. I have a story that comes to mind. I had a heart for a pro basketball player that I would watch when I was in California, and I watched his life, and I cared for him, and I prayed for him, and I actually wrote him a letter, and I tucked it next to my bed, and I told my husband, Joey Trewick, someday I want to give this to him. Well, I was in downtown Newport Beach running with a client, and I saw him. In fact, I rode right past him, and I thought, oh, I need to give him this letter about his worth and his value, and I'm a stranger to him, right? And so I run my client as fast as I can home. It was probably the best workout she's ever had. I run in, and I say to my husband, Joey, get in the Subaru. The Isuzu, actually. Then I saw him, and I want to give him my letter that I wrote him. And I'm married to the best man because he just goes right with it, because other people wouldn't, but he does. And so God knew he needed to be my flesh. So he jumps in the car, he gets me down as close as he can to the beach strand, and I knock on the door of this person I've never met, but I have a heart for. And my heart is beating out of my chest, and I'm praying, God, do something, because he doesn't know me. Well, no answer, but across the street was a man standing on sort of the upper level of his beach house, and he said, what are you doing? And I said, I just wanted to give him a letter. And he was like, okay. Awkward, 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 awkward. So he walks across the street, and he says, can I ask what the letter's about? And now this person I was trying to reach had a lot of fans, right? So he's probably thinking, I'm just, I'm sort of fangirl. And I said, well, and here's my response, awkward, do you really want to know what's in this letter? And he said, yeah, I think I do. And I said, well, I'm a Christian, and I've watched his life, and God, he's so talented. God has a greater things for him, and my heart is broken for him, and that's what's in this letter. And do you know what he said to me? True story. He said, and I introduced myself, and he said, well, Cece, I have been loving on him with my teenage kids. Let me go get the key to his house. He's already left for the weekend, and we'll put his letter next to his bed, inside the Bible that I gave him. I can barely believe it, right? I signed up for it, but then God does the miraculous like he does for you and for me, and I'm about to, like that emoji, mind blown, like my head's blowing off. And so I get in there, and I'm in the living room of this sort of star athlete, and he takes the letter and he puts it next to his bed. And guys, I don't know. Friends of mine in Newport Beach were like, do you think he got it? I even had a guy that took my spin class that said, I asked him, I saw him at the, was it Crab Cooker, I think, and he said he did get a letter. I don't know how that went because I wasn't there, but the point is, God does great things when we're willing to walk through the awkward. It's so close to my heart. He does great things. And so you might have situational awkward. You might have family awkward. Last night I found myself in the house where one of my sons was very sick. He threw up on my other son. That is a whole different kind of awkward. And I know you're feeling me, those of you that are sick. And that was very awkward because the son that received the throw up doesn't even like to have his hands dirty. So I'm navigating that while one is sick and one is very upset. But as a parent, we get to do that. As a wife, as a best friend, as a manager, as a worker, as a servant at our local church, we get to walk through the awkward, because on the other side of awkward, most often, is a beautiful thing. And so my encouragement to you today is walk through the awkward. I always say become best friends with awkward. Just invite awkward. Say, I know you're coming. Might as well be invited. And on the other side of that is great things, and you have great things in you. So join us at She's Velvet Steel for a Monday coffee talk, 10 a.m. Montana time. Go to the She's Velvet Steel Facebook page and check us out. Just a group of women walking the awkward together as we pursue the purposes of God for us. You're awesome.